Chapter 972. I am Odin, and I was born to boil.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Pa-D-Cast. This is part 2 of our catch-up. We're on the current chapter now that just came out, chapter 972. How exciting. I'm the best guy ever, and this is Give and Take.
So, if you haven't seen the previous episode, we did a catch-up of the previous 3 chapters that we missed. You don't need to listen to that if you don't care, but this is the real deal here. For context, our channel was taken over by hackers and then promptly deleted by YouTube, and we're trying to get it back.
Guys.
So
we're working on it. It is in the process. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
So that has been the bullshit, and we're dealing with it. But let's get on with the chapter right now.
I'm so ready. Now, first of all, we've got a cover page that is amusing here on chapter 972.
Oh, do you see a cover page?
Do you see it? I'm looking on the Viz manga page.
I don't see it on Viz. Why is it not on Viz? I see like Hungry Days. This other...
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I meant by cover page.
Oh, okay.
The color spread. I guess I should have said. First of all, let me just say, have you guys seen? Again, I assume you have seen these Hungry Days. What they are advertisements for Cup Noodle.
I have seen those.
I love them. I think they are so cool and so sick. So as you can see, if you're looking at this, you got like normal Luffy and like Bishonen gay Luffy on the right, and in the back you got like the Bishonen version. These are Cup Noodle commercials, like where it's an entire school of like basically like adapted versions of One Piece characters as if they were all going to high school together. Kind of like the you know how Oda does those like side stories back in the day every once in a while where they'd all be like school kids or whatever. This is by some other company, and it's got like this really cool like Makoto Shinkai kind of esque animation, and they're all just school kids going to school together and doing stuff. And like there's a story of like there's like a 1 minute long episode where Zoro, is in the kendo club, like loses to the superior kendo fighter Mihawk, high schooler, and then goes through like a training arc throughout the episode at school, and then at the end he meets Luffy just like he did in a similar way at the beginning of One Piece. All the iconography is very similar. I'll see if I can find some links to some and put them below, but they are really, really cool. And I like all of them. There's like a bunch of the characters have had like their stories converted into these. They're just fun to watch. And even though they end with like a retarded cup noodle advertisement that has nothing to do with like any of the narrative, I'm glad they exist.
It's really cool. Funny. It's like, you know how like anime in Japan is much more of like a main, you know that thing called anime?
I hate it.
It's much a more like mainstream thing, and One Piece especially.
Yes.
It's like this is basically like having a celebrity, like a sports endorsement of like a product, but it's an animated character.
You know, side note, but I just seeing this Hungry Days stuff, the fact that Oda himself is willing to put pen to paper to like draw like a little ad here in One Piece for like a fucking cup noodle ad makes me feel way better about the fact that I've done an advertisement on a Wiagawa and I'm definitely gonna do more. I'm like, yeah, we'll all just sell out. It's all good, baby. If Oda can do it, I can do it too. It legitimately makes me feel a lot better about it.
Sometimes the best creative things can only be done thanks to the money of cup noodle sponsorship.
You are not wrong. You are absolutely correct, Gib. And by the way, look at Brooke. Look at Brooke there. That's just literally you. That's just 100% exactly you.
He's got a bit of a
only wearing
stretched
Digi's
face.
glasses. That's true. And he's a bit of a tall man, which he's like 10 fucking feet tall or something. But other than that, literally you. He's a music man. He's got a big poofy hair, glasses, face, the whole 9 yards.
He's got a face. Well, he doesn't.
He's got a face.
He actually doesn't have a face because he's a skeleton.
Oh, shit. That's true. Anyway, I love it. And this is cool. Keep it up, Oda. Keep shilling. I'm not going to buy any. But it's great. It's great regardless.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, let's get on to the chapter. Chapter 972. Wait, is there a title here somewhere? Fucking Viz. God, the worst fucking website of all.
Oh, chapter 972. 972.
Oh, wait. Okay, they did include it. I see it in the
I am
little
Odin,
black bar
and
there.
I was born to boil. Yeah, I see it.
Yes. Which, you know what? I hadn't even seen that till right now. I wish I'd seen it at the beginning, goddammit, because that's a good title for this fucking chapter. I am Odin, and I was born to boil! Let's see how that manifests. I look forward to it.
Yeah,
okay, Gib.
So last time Shinobu has pilled. I don't know, blue or red pilled, both of them.
She's Odin pilled. She's oil pilled, everybody.
She's purple pilled at the crowd on the situation. This guy right here is like saying, I can't believe, like, I can't process this information. I don't know what his problem is, because the rest of the crowd has no problem.
No one else has this. Okay, he's a surrogate for the crowd. He exists in a metaphorical sense.
Yeah.
Come on. We understand this.
I think, really, he's just there as a jumping-off point for the nasty ninja to say, you can't tell the truth sucks, should always tell lies, hee.
He's really put in the fucku in the name Fakuro Kuju. Fuck you, basically.
Yes, fuck you. What happens to your head in the future?
He gets way smarter. His brain just increases in size.
It only increases in the Y coordinate. It goes up.
That's correct. It's making me wonder, this isn't going to happen, but I wonder if he's at all related to, I think it's, Vice Admiral Strawberry, who canonically has an incredibly tall head, but he did from when he was a young man, so I don't know. What is the connection?
Maybe the top half of his head is like a false head. Or maybe he does ninja things that does actually make him real smart, but only upwards.
We know for a fact that Strawberry's head is in fact that tall, because he was wearing a bandage that went around his entire freakishly tall head. But this guy, maybe he is doing some weird ninja bullshit. I don't know. He's a very smug character, this fucku.
Here's my anticipation of his power, right? What he does is he bows his head, and then, boom, pew! His head extends like a bullet. It just goes like really far and hits you, headbutts you from a distance.
There was a character with that exact power in, you may remember it, Bleach, and that was Gin. Remember Gin's sword?
The 3-kilometer long sword, yeah.
That's correct, Gib. That's correct. And that was a sick power. It was one of the early great fights with Ichigo when he first got into Soul Society. I hope that this is the One Piece equivalent of that. He should fight against Shinobu. They should have an epic duel. Maybe, it should be Shinobu, Raizo. The two of them should team up to fight against Faku. And have an epic ninja battle.
That would be pretty Naruto.
I hope that happens. I really do. It'd be sick. Okay, anyway. So she's made her allegiance clear. Fuck you. I'm on Team Odin. I'll pay the cost. I don't care. I'll speak up. Kill me. Do whatever you gotta do.
And he's like, haha.
So she's pretty cool.
That's not how world works.
Yeah.
But then, of course, the rest of the crowd does, like, believe her and starts turning against Kaido.
This is a comedy of errors. Like, he's like, lol, like, that's never gonna happen. Like, she successfully revealed the truth to everybody, and, like, this is actually terrible PR. This is really bad, because now they will, in fact, have fighting spirit against, like, they now will actively try to, like, throw off their, claimants or whatever, even more so than they would have otherwise. He really should have stopped her from saying this, but he just didn't, because he's really smug, I guess. All right, fine.
Definitely going to be a battle with them.
I think that, With
or at least an implied battle. There's so many fucking battles, so many duos that have to face off against one another in this arc.
The good news is, like,
crazy.
None of his subordinate ninjas, like, matter at all, but he does matter, so he at least has to be, like, addressed. I want a him versus Shinobu finale one day. I think it'll happen, personally.
Yeah. We'll see. So people suddenly getting shot with arrows from Kaido's men, the Beast Pirates, shooting them for daring to speak out against Orochi, the Shogun. And then suddenly everybody realizes that they're watching their nation's hope burn. And a chill runs through the crowd. They realize they're surrounded. It's all fucked. Uh-oh, they say.
I think this is a really cool moment where, like, they suddenly realize, like, oh no, Odin isn't so bad. And then they're kind of like, please listen to us, like, our leaders, like Orochi, like, we understand now, we save him. And Orochi just says, like, shut the fuck up. I will just murder all of you who do anything against me. and they just realize what a horrible situation they're truly in, and that their one savior is burning alive right now.
Like, fucking 2 minutes ago, they'd been like, this is boring. I gotta go do some shit. I don't want to watch this guy boil for a whole hour.
It's a long time.
But then there's like, oh no, our world is crumbling.
Do you think anyone smelled that and was like, ooh, that smells good. I'm going to go home and make Odin. I'm going to go cook my own. That smells delicious. I want to get some of that. That's what I would do in that situation. So, I was there, canonically. Me and Gib were there.
Oh, yeah, we were there. We poured the oil in there.
Well, that was us. It was really good. You're welcome.
It was really good oil. I tasted some of it raw, and it was great.
I also tasted after Odin was in there. Still delicious. Good work.
So, sudden new thing. They shot the urgent news, the letter arrows of Wano cross great distances to send messages. Has this been a thing at any point?
No, this has never been a thing before, but now it is.
All right, first of all...
Remember in Monty Python when that guy got hit by the arrow and was like, message for you, sir? That's the equivalent. They probably have one guy whose job it is to physically take the arrows to catch them in his body.
Okay.
I hope so.
I like the idea that, like, it's a super, like, you think that he's going to catch them with his hand. He never manages to catch them with his hand. He's just got many wounds in the chest.
He's tough. He's handling it fine.
Okay. Letter arrows. So.
Okay, fair enough. The weird thing is we don't see who shoots the arrows. Like, I'm really curious. Is there, like, a really good archer? No?
There's no character tied to this. There's no devil fruit. I'm trying to remember what the devil fruit was that Vanderdecken had. That he touched something and then it flies towards the person.
Target fruit or whatever, yeah.
Like, potentially, it could be whoever has that, but there's, like... I don't know. It just says they, as in, like, the citizenry. The people of Wano shot the message.
Okay. This is like, that well-established factor of Wano that we all know
maybe
and love.
Maybe it's like the fucking... Maybe it's like the fucking, like... Lord of the Rings light the towers thing, except they shoot an arrow from tower to tower. It hits the thing. They like pick it up, and then they shoot it along.
That's not super unbelievable, honestly. Although arrows are actually not very good at long range, so
you would need a lot of towers, and you would need to replace the arrowhead quite a few times. I think it's kind of a strange way to do it.
These people have communication devices. They have their own, like snail equivalents.
That's the thing.
I don't know.
We haven't seen a snail in this flashback yet, so maybe they haven't been invented.
What, were they not discovered yet? That's dumb.
I don't know. I think dumb. What's happening here is that the arrows sent, like, with a message attached is like a thing from a story that Oda is referencing or something, and that's what he wanted to add in here. I wish we knew
what that story was.
It's blind speculation. It might not be that, but like I don't see any other reason for suddenly including a different method of communication for no reason.
It is surprising. I don't know. Okay, well, you know what? It's fine. I understand. Cool. Good job.
So the word gets out. Yasue is reading it.
Right.
Presumably while he's still burning, so it's a very, very fast arrow.
Yeah, this is really fast. This is within several minutes. Like, this is only an hour he's in there, so, in like 10 minutes, word is everywhere.
So, like, people have turned around. They're now cheering Odin on. They're saying, you can do it. We're sorry for being ignorant, and thank you for protecting us. And then the Red Scabbers, Kinemon's like, say, oh, now they care? And then Odin's like, thank you very much.
I'll just throw this out there.
Being totally appreciative of their words. It's really funny.
That is funny. I'll just say, again, with my annoying, I know this doesn't matter, but, like, everyone, like, instantly believes Shinobu just because she says some words. Like, why do they, like, they throw out all their feelings? This is one of those things that, like, isn't realistic, but, like, okay, it's a manga. They just, the truth comes... Fuku does say, like, literally, like, oh, Shinobu, stop saying the truth.
Yeah,
stop saying the truth. Why would he admit that?
It's like, stop.
Why?
I don't even think that's part of... I think it's just sort of funny that he says to her, these people, they are not going to, agree... You can't spring that sort of stuff on them. People don't know the truth. The only thing they can understand is that the shogun is killing a traitor and a coward and a fool. And then he's just proven wrong immediately by the crowd buying into Shinobu because that's what has to happen, I guess.
That's fine.
I don't even dislike it. It's just funny that he has that speech and then it immediately doesn't matter.
Yeah. I found it a little bit funny that they like believe so quickly when just like one person says so. But I mean, okay, like she was at the battle. I'll assume the people know who she is and find her a trustworthy source. Okay, but like his speech is pretty funny. I
don't know why they would know who she is, because she's a ninja. She's supposed to be in the shadows. It's like, the famous ninja that everyone knows about.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So, I mean, it's a little weird that people are so by your story. They just are so enraptured by the tale that not only she tells, but that Fuku allows her to tell in full view of like he doesn't choose to stop her when they easily could. There's just a lot of fuckery going on. I don't know why some of these decisions are being made the way that they are. Maybe it's because, to be charitable, Orochi just doesn't fucking care if these people know, because he just says like silence trash. He basically, the veil drops and he's basically like, yeah, I am in fact a genocidal lord. I don't respect you.
Yeah.
I in fact want the worst for my own people.
It is pretty like nail in the coffin when he starts shooting them for, the small amount of people I assume who are saying, oh no, we believe in Odin, and now it's like, everyone was like, oh shit, they all suddenly agreed true. When the arrows started flying. But like,
maybe they don't actually know.
I think the aspect of like the crowd wasn't going to believe is something that would have taken like too long to have as be a thing.
You're correct. It doesn't. It's one of the. It doesn't matter. We get it. What Oda's trying to do. So fair enough.
It's fine.
It's fine. The one thing I'll say though is like, now that we know that not only is Orochi like actively a genocidal, like fascist ruler, he doesn't even want Wano to like prosper. He like wants to be fucked up. At least that's like how he got to his position originally. Like, it seemed like people are pretty okay with him. Like when we were in the present time. Like, sure, you have to be kind of like corrupt, but like no one, like, imagine like Hitler was like alive today and was like, yeah, I'm the ruler. Like, remember when like I actively said like or not even Hitler, because Hitler was like killing the Jews, but like was killing like his own people, like, yeah, I want the Germans to all fucking die. I'm Hitler. Lottie, look at me. Like, people seem pretty cool with Orochi, and maybe it's because Orochi kind of like forgot how mad he was at Wano, because like now I'm the Shogun and it's good to be the king. He's just kind of like enjoying all the benefits of, being in charge and stuff. I'm a little surprised that things are going as smoothly as they are, I guess, given this backstory, but I don't know. I guess things just calm down.
What are you surprised? What's too smooth?
Well, okay, just for example, like Kanjuro, right? Look at Kanjuro. He is a Yakuza, right? We kind of have this expectation that Kanjuro in the present time is like a double agent or is like gonna betray Orochi. Maybe he's even Kanjuro? Like Denjiro, like in disguise. Remember him? He's like the current head of the Yakuza who works for Orochi in the future.
Isn't Kanjuro...
Am I messing up his name?
Isn't Kanjuro the clown, like red scabbard looking guy?
That... shit. You're right. Oh my god. There's so many fucking names I don't know. Okay, you know who I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, the fried fish hair, man.
Exactly. Like, this raises the question, like, why does he choose to work for Odin, or for Orochi, given all this nightmarish things that happened in the past, including him being an actively genocidal ruler? Either he isn't a genocidal ruler anymore, because he's kind of just chilled out, which honestly is what I think has happened, or he's like working from the inside to like destroy him and like to take him out from inside, which I think is also happening with that character. But like, you see what I'm saying? I'm just like, knowing how evil and how antagonistic Orochi at least was at this point by killing Odin and killing many of the citizens, I'm a little bit surprised that things are as peaceful as they are in the present time. Well, I guess I'm being...
They're not really
peaceful
at all.
This is a veiled accusation that Oda is retconning a little bit.
I don't think things, like, in the present time things are peaceful. Things are continuing to degrade, and it's just the people in the capital that don't seem to see any of the problems. He's just fucking over...
Why are they so comfortable with the fact that 20 years ago, their lord killed Odin, assassinated many of the populace, and is still in charge? I guess because life is good and they're just not worried about it. I guess that's the answer.
Maybe they just forgot.
Yeah, I mean, we know that the poor hate it.
It could just be. It could
stuff.
just be that there's like he engineered a situation where people who speak up against him are like kidnapped and sent to Kaido to be slaves, and everyone else isn't like that, and so it sort of comes to a position where most people, you know, the people who still know are pretending they don't, and then the people who don't know just don't know because nobody around them is talking about it.
Yeah, okay, you're probably right. You're probably right. Okay, perhaps I was a little overly critical with that, but yeah, okay, I'm pretty satisfied. Well, like when you have overwhelming control, because he's got Kaido working with him and like the samurai and stuff, you have so much control over this country. You can make the people believe whatever the fuck you want them to believe, probably. Yeah. So
everyone just wants to like get on with their day, and they'll bow their heads if they fucking have to.
And they like hope that one day, like the Kozukis might, you know, like because there's a prophecy that like they'll come back and hopefully take over.
I mean, people cried at Yasue's funeral, I think.
Yes, they did. They definitely.
Even though they didn't recognize him, because
Yasue died so long before I cared about him, and now I actually do like him. Now that we've seen all the good stuff he did, it's. I mean, I don't blame Oda, but it's just. He died before I gave a shit. It's just, I guess that's just too bad. Like, I was told what a good boy he was, and then after he died, then I was shown all the ways he was a good boy, and now I care. But, okay, fair enough, whatever. It doesn't matter. I guess just knowing what happens to him is a little bit similar to what happens to Odin before we get his flashback, so we can see. Okay, anyway.
To the main thing, Odin is talking. He's saying, if I survive this boiling, I would like to open the country. And he says, long ago, the reason that the country was closed was thanks to the Kozuki clan. And it was to protect Wano from a great external power, which I assume is like the world government.
It's the world government. It's gotta be. Gotta be.
So the next thing he says is, Wano, no, the entire world awaits a figure. And when that figure appears after an 800-year span, this country must be prepared to welcome and work with them. So, I think this is the stuff, the knowledge he picked up with when he found One Piece or went to Raftel with Roger and Joy Boy and like the idea of Joy Boy coming back in some fashion as a person or an idea. I'm not even sure, but whatever it is, he wants Wano to be open so that person can, to work with Wano to save the world or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, first of all, I think that I don't think that this has been as confirmed as it is now, and this is basically exactly what I predicted. Seems to be clarified here. Again, it might have been said already, so maybe this is late, but like the fact that Wano was like closed intentionally. Like, against the world government's influence. Like, that's not 100% confirmed, but that's gotta be what happened. Like, during the Void Century, a certain kingdom was, like, wiped off the face of the earth, and, after that century, the world government suddenly existed, and, like, seemingly one of the other things that happened was that, like, Wano was, like, closed off from the rest of the world, and we know that Wano is where the fucking poneglyphs came from that was made by the Kozukis. Clearly, all these things are tied up in the same thing.
So they closed the border to preserve the history, to keep the world government out so that they could preserve the history, and I assume over the next bunch of years, like, transported these poneglyphs all over the place so that other people could hold.
Which my guess is why Toki was born off of Wano. She was probably part of a initiative to scatter the poneglyphs. I don't know that, but that's my guess.
My guess. Or maybe the poneglyphs could have happened before that. I'm not even sure. I guess since they detail the history, they should have happened after the history happened. So
we did the math. And I believe she was born straight up during the Void Century, I believe was what we understood. But she said she was born off Wano. Well, okay. The Void Century is a long time. Like, the poneglyphs could have been made, like, well into it, and, like, they could have scattered them during it, so, any of these things could be happening. But, like, he makes it certainly clear that like the question was like, okay, how does Odin know these things? That the world awaits a figure that will, it needs to come into Wano and then something will happen and will like save the world or whatever. The answer has got to be either like some of the poneglyphs that they found during their quest, or straight up the information that was acquired like at One Piece, at Laugh Tale.
One of those two things for sure. I think most likely Raftel, the story that Joy Boy, including Joy Boy or whatever. I think the implication with this, like, opening the borders is like they were closed to keep the world government out, and you would never open them again, otherwise the world government would get in. But this person is going to come, prophesies to come, and we need to be able to help them to defeat the world government, and so therefore it's worth risking the borders being open at this point. That's what I'm gathering from this, is that this is the time the world government can be destroyed, when this person arrives.
Now, the question is certainly raised. Okay, just for example, Luffy is already inside Wano. Like, I'm very curious, Oda, and he has to explain this in a satisfying way. What does the borders being open do specifically in order to make this happen that, like, Luffy couldn't just, like, sneak into Wano, learn, and then leave, with whatever secret information he needs? Like, you could say that, like, opening the borders is necessary as, like, part of, like, Luffy's entrance into Wano to do whatever it needs to do.
I think there's a possibility. It's out there, but I think there's a possibility that the figure is not Luffy. I think Luffy is, like,
it's possible.
is being the guy, the linchpin that gets everything ready for whoever it is, or I think it might not even be he says it's a figure, so I assume the Japanese is like, it implies it's
presumably
a person.
Yeah.
But it could be like a movement or like an idea that sweeps the world, that makes people realize the world government is shit or something.
Sure, it's possible. It's possible.
So like, opening the borders is like one step towards the information that they're holding on to being more widespread, perhaps, instead of literally letting a person in so that they can see what's going on.
Do you think that also the fact that Odin states clearly, like, I will be clear with you, they are going to kill me today. Do you think that could just be one of those shonen-y things where he's like, it's over for me, like, I know that. Or do you think this is part of, like, the prophecy, that, like, he found out he was going to die and, proceeded to...
I don't know how
it could be either way.
The prophecy could be. I think more likely it's that he has suffered so much in this boiling pot of oil that he knows he can't survive.
Yeah, probably true.
And so this is his last moment, and like...
And I'll just say for the record, we're getting deep into some, like, prophecy stuff going on here, and, like, a lot of information's being conveyed in prophecy. As a rule, I'm not a big fan of prophecies. So I'll just say, I really don't want there to be, like, we get to fucking One Piece, and among other things, there's just, like, a lot of lists of, like, so-and-so's the chosen one, X and Y would do blah, blah, blah. I mean, that doesn't, like, ruin anything, but, like... I sure hope that what we weren't building to this whole time was just a bunch of prophecy stuff. Even if there's more going on besides that. Prophecies are boring. I want other things. But, there's no doubt at this point. Prophecy is like a big part of Joy Boy and One Piece and Laugh Tale and all this stuff. So, okay, whatever. Fair enough. Just do it well, Oda. Whatever you're doing, do it in a satisfying, good way, which is certainly still possible. So I'm not overly concerned about it.
I definitely prefer post-phacy, whatever you call the opposite of prophecy, just a story. I've been playing Okami recently, video game extraordinary, and it's very good. And there's this really emotional moment when at the end, spoilers, when Okami Amaterasu leaves the physical world to go into the heavens, and Issen, the little guy who you've been traveling with, has to stay because he's immortal, so he has to stay on Earth.
Right.
He decides to tell the story so that everybody knows and believes in the gods and stuff. And there was no prophecy, really, about what would happen, but there was a story afterwards, and that is, like, it's cool when this stuff happens, but when it is like influencing the characters while it's happening, it just sort of comes across as like, okay, but how much of this is their own doing?
A lot of what it does is rob agency, and the one thing that you never want to do from your main characters who you're rooting for is rob agency from.
Yeah, like, it's cool that a character becomes a thing of legend from the actions they take, or, like, even that they, like, remind people of an ancient legend that, like, oh, you're just like this person from the past. But the fact that people are telling them to their face, like, you are currently in the process of becoming a legend. They're just sort of like, okay, less cool.
Like, and Gold Roger was doing a lot of that during the flashback when they went to Fishman Island. I really didn't like how matter-of-fact, oh yeah, all these prophecies, these things are going to happen. That's just like, oh, well then why even do anything? It's going to happen. I mean, Madame Shirley, got to tread carefully with that character. But you know, like, something like, The hat that Eam went down into that vault or whatever and found the big straw hat, like, my current strongest theory, and I think it's correct, is that, like, that hat represents, like, a prophecy about, like, who's gonna be, like, the Joy Boy or the Chosen One that's gonna, like, destroy the world government or whatever. That was, like, a prophecy that was made during the Void Century, you know, or, like, the world government that was collected at the time. Like, this is your enemy to fear one day. And, like, maybe, like, the D is part of that or something. I don't know. So, like, I don't like that. But the good news is that, like, the fact that what Oda's including that does, it makes me mad. Because what he's doing is he's fiddling with this story to, like, in the context of the story, have it be destined that our heroes would always win. Now, we're outside the meta-narrative of the story. We know that Luffy is going to win one day. What I don't want is the characters in the story to know that Luffy is going to win one day, so who cares? Just do whatever. Like, that's what I want to avoid. And the good news is that I don't see, like, that hat representing that, like, Luffy is the chosen one or shit like that. Like, in no way does that, like, specifically make Luffy's journey easier, especially if he doesn't know that he's the chosen one or whatever, which he very, very likely is. Again, we don't know for sure, but just very likely that he is.
Like, chosen one to help things along, like,
it's pretty vague. There's no specifics there, but that's why I hate things like you, Neptune, will give birth to the next mermaid princess who will be Neptune in exactly 10 years.
And he's like,
what a boring prophecy, shitty writing.
Like, imagine if there was a story based on the exploits of Neptune. Like, I mean, obviously it would be interesting because he's a cool guy, but, like, that part of it would be like, and now I just wait for some, you know, stuff to happen.
Some lady to come along and I marry her and, you know, like,
I mean,
it's gonna happen.
It's not like a bad story, it's just sort of robbed of something by knowing things ahead of time. Don't spoil the story for the characters. I mean, this is not really what's happening right now, but just the general idea of prophecy itself is not to be avoided, but to be handled very carefully. Because there's definitely a way that this could be really cool, but I couldn't explain how right now because I'm not a writer. I'm not the guy who wrote One Piece, you know.
Indeed. I'm having trouble putting it to words, but I kind of feel like there's something feels wrong or contradictory about that. When I think about like Luffy straight up rejected being told by Rayleigh not how to get to One Piece or what One Piece is, but even if One Piece exists. And yet Oda chooses in his story to, like, present us with all these, like, destiny-confirming things for Luffy, like the frozen straw hat. And, like, doesn't... Something about this feels contradictory and, like, going against the spirit of One Piece.
Well, it wouldn't go against the spirit if it comes to the point and then Luffy rejects it again.
That's true.
I think it would be really cool, in fact, if it gets to a point where people are talking about a prophecy, like this becomes less of a background thing, more of an on-the-crew sort of talking point, on the Straw Hat crew, like, they're talking about these things. Like, Nami's like, oh, there's this prophecy, and Luffy's like, no, I'm just going to do what I want. Yeah. I'm not going to go there and do the thing that people expect me to do. And that would be a cool moment if that happens.
The thing is, that could happen. I would love that. I don't think that's going to happen because so much of One Piece is now kind of embedded into this, like, prophecy stuff that's so clearly part of like Joy Boy and
No,
Raphael
I think no,
Raphael.
I seriously think there's a chance because of how much he's laying into this Joy Boy world awaits a figure to open the borders and save and destroy the Red Line, destroy the world government. To have Luffy reject it, like if you imagine Roger and Odin and everyone like standing next to Luffy and listening to him say no, and then they're like, eh? Like that would be the comedy,
I'd
biggest,
like that. I
the
would
big
like that.
punchline where everyone's like, what the fuck? But by doing the thing that nobody expects, he ends up making a new, more cool, legacy for himself.
Sure, I would love that, and I hope that happens. Here's my only concern, though, and I can't blame Oda or anything like right now for this, but just I know, like, if that doesn't happen, and Destiny stuff just happens, like
it'll
people
be like
will
the
forget
fucking
this,
it'll
and
be like
no
the ending
one
of Homestuck.
will apologize, and no one will feel any different, even if like the worst route that had Rob care, like no one will care, and it'll never be held to account, and people will just move on with their lives, even though because like years ago something happened that wasn't great writing or could have been better or something. Whatever, Luffy's the chosen one, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like no one, I know that there will be no like great rethinking of any of the narrative among the populace, and it's them who I who I don't look forward to hearing from on these things.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. And this Odin story, it's good. So we'll focus on that for now. There's a prophecy hinted coming one day. That's fine. But right now, Odin is boiling alive. He's being a real cool guy.
Well, a real hot guy.
Oh shit, that's true.
So, his like Raizo's saying, "Your dream is my dream, is our dream," and this Odin's like, "Cool. You guys, please open the border." And
Denjiro here says like, oh, actually, this is good. He's like, oh, you're gonna die, Odin. Then we should be in the pot with you and die. But then Raizo, picking up what Odin is saying, it says, we will live on to carry on your dream because we couldn't survive. And so I mean, actually, because like as retainers of a lord, they like should die with their lord, probably like honorably speaking. But he's specifically giving them an order to like continue to live. And this is what I was saying before in like last episode.
It's cool.
He's imbuing them with what is it? Inherited will. We are seeing at this very moment inherited will being passed along from Odin into the Red Scabbards to be carried on to make a difference in the future. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to see.
So, that gets down to the last few seconds.
Yep.
Odin's in the thing. People are like shaking in their boots. Is he gonna make it? It gets to the last few seconds. It ticks over. Everyone cheers. He survives the execution, and now he and all of his guys should go free. Oh, it's so wonderful.
We did it. Hooray. He promised.
We did it, Reddit.
Promised? We did it, Reddit. He promised he'd let us go. How exciting.
And then, of course, Orochi just says, I've altered the deal yet again. I'm just a big deal-altering guy.
Why would Odin assume that they've lied to him so many times? Like I was ranting last episode about how he's fucking tricked and manipulated by these liars, and then he's like, "Oh, this time they'll tell the truth." I guess in this situation he had no alternative. He
had absolutely no alternative. I feel like he had this in his mind. Like they would have to run.
Maybe that's why he's like, I know I'll die, but maybe I can save my boys. At the very least, I can do that. So, okay, fair enough.
So now he's like, actually, we're going to shoot you, and we're going to shoot everyone, and no one gets to live.
Whoops.
And Kaido's got a stern face. Like, he kind of knows that this isn't right, because he, going against his word, but it is Orochi doing it, so I my hands are clean. I'm Kaido.
Yeah, pretty much. He's a little more honorable.
A little more. So Odin flings the amount of strength on this boy is incredible. His muscles have been like turned to like. I mean, literally, he's cooked.
Softened.
He's a cooked goose right now.
He is.
He's got enough strength to hurl these guys really far away, and they immediately do the ninja dash and they get the fuck out of there, crying their eyes out. They have to. Do they have to escape? They have to keep his dream alive.
To roll, they all avoided fall damage in a big way. They're high-level gamers. They know what they're doing.
Kinemon just rips his shackles apart like nothing.
Oh, damn. Pretty good. Pretty good. Impressive. But yeah, off he goes. And we all get a little flashback of how they all met and their first meetings with Kozuki Odin and how nice he was to all of them and how he helped them. And Odin, of course, has told them, open Wano's borders and tells them, don't underestimate my samurai as they keep running away. And we keep seeing the flashbacks of Ashura and Kanjuro. Your fear of the alien, everyone, exposes your own ignorance. Be a good boy, and all these good things happened.
And steal food if you're hungry.
Steal, commit crimes. Hashtag commit crimes. But then Orochi walks over and says to him, they'll speak of you for years to come, that you died a spectacular death.
I think Kaido says that.
Did I not? I thought I said fucking Kaido. God damn it. Yes, that's definitely Kaido saying this, like, kind of nice thing in this situation. Odin doesn't care. As he says, my soul will live on. Boom. Inherited will line. There it is right there. That's what One Piece is about. And Orochi interestingly says, fucking Kaido. God damn it. Kaido says, these names are the fucking same. He says.
Those two names are not the same.
They're the same damn name. They're the same guy. They're both dragons. They're like the same. Okay. Sorry about what happened with the old hag. I had her killed. And I'm sure what he's referring to there is how when they were fighting and Odin had gotten like the actual one slash on Kaido, like Momonosuke appeared and distracted him. That was actually the old lady pretending to be Momonosuke, and it was that opportunity that Kaido took to fucking hit him in the head and knock him down. And
so it's
win.
Like
he didn't have an honorable duel, basically.
Yeah, this Kurozumi bitch sort of made the duel dishonorable, but
Indeed. Kaido likes to fight. Clearly, he likes a straight up fight. If nothing else is going for him.
There's the confirmation that devil fruit.
She's dead, guys. The devil fruit is available for someone else to eat.
Is there a Bon Clay in the house?
Because they did that, they with that line, he really spells it out. Okay, the Bon Clay fruit is available. Bon Clay can now eat it as of this point in the narrative, as of 20 years ago. I was a little bit surprised that we didn't also get confirmation that guy died, because I don't know, he's really spelling it out for us. But I guess that guy probably just dies of old age.
He could die of old age or die from Kaido. I mean,
yeah,
as long as Orochi's alive, Orochi doesn't really give a shit about anyone except himself.
Indeed.
Although you would imagine that guy he would want around for a long time because he's a barrier man and can save him.
He's a strong man. I mean, he's clearly old. But I'll say again, One Piece humans live for 140 years. So I'm just saying, the guy's old, but is he 100 years old? Is he? I don't know. People live a long fucking time in One Piece. They're not exactly normal humans. Anyway, he could have died any number of ways, so we know Bartolomeo gets it. Fair enough. But anyway, Odin, just his last words to Kaido are, build up your strength. I appreciate you killing that lady. For I am a story to accompany your drinks. I am Odin and I was born. But then, boom, headshot. But then he falls into the pot of oil. The lid falls over on top of him. But the people finish a sentence. I was born to boil. Which is pretty fucking... I actually really like this. That, the people finish his, signature phrase. Yeah. Even though he's fucking dead. And he dies in the oil with a smile on his face. Hear the people weep.
They finish his sentence. That's something I've never seen before. That's really cool. The idea of that your last words get interrupted, but people... literally carry on your words and your being by
Is there
a
better way to represent that his spirit lives on than something like that? I really like that, the way that was done.
And that the only thing left is his smiling teeth in the oil there.
Although if you turn it around, I was wondering if I look at it from this angle, it looks like he's frowning real big. Maybe he's doing a frown like the other. You know what I'm saying? How do we know that it's a smile, not a frown? We don't know. You can't prove it.
I mean, what's more likely, that he enjoys being boiled or doesn't enjoy being boiled?
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. What's more likely, that he smiled when shot in the head or frowned a little bit? Cast your bets. Cast your bets. We all know what it means. He's dying like a smiling D guy. That's clearly what they're going for. And then the bang, 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 bang solo. Someone busts into a sick shamisen solo to end his legend. And there it is. The man is dead. That's the end of Kozuki Odin. We've reached the end of his journey, and Godspeed into the afterlife, buddy. Let's see what happens next.
I can't remember why I thought this, but I had this idea that Odin and Toki, you know, the queen or whatever her title is, were burned alive in their house, in their castle.
You know, I was thinking about that a little bit. I don't like. I was thinking about that before. I think I had assumed that at first, but I think it was later clarified, or rather, it wasn't like confirmed he was specifically there, because we see there was a flashback before where we saw like the 9 scabbards or whatever, like heading back to the place where they live or whatever, like the Kozuki Castle or whatever it is in Ringo, or fucking whatever, Curry. And like it was already on fire when they got back, which I expect that we will see probably next chapter when we see them do the travel to the future and all that good stuff. So yeah, I mean I don't think it was confirmed, but now I guess clearly we know that. By the way, I have one other thing to say about that, which was you did an oopsie there, Oda. I mean, at least a little bit. Because in that flashback where we see, in that like one panel thing where they arrive at the house to be burning down or whatever, we see clearly like a silhouette of Kaido on the left and then Jack, Queen, King, and Jack. But canonically, Jack would have been 8 years old at this point in the narrative. And I'm just saying, probably not engaging in, you know, murder campaigns at the age of 8. Maybe he was an early bloomer. Probably not. Most likely Oda made a little oopsie, but that's okay. Nothing too big. I forgot. So what we now see is we cut the narrative over to the fam and see what they're up to.
Toki gets news of Odin's death, and that's it. I think what she's reading here is like letters, or like a letter that Odin has written.
He probably gave
her.
it to her as he was leaving or something, is my guess.
Yeah, so, something to read in the event of his death. About like you know, over the 20 years ahead of us, there'll be likely massive war, terrible enough to split the seas themselves. In other words, we're gonna need this war to come back in 20 years, and I know your power does like 20-year increments. Could you use your power to and then he's like, she's ripping this up. I don't really understand her her thought process here, because I know that she does eventually send the people into the future. Yeah. What do you take away from it? Maybe I'm just not reading it properly.
Well, okay. First of all, ripping up the plan is reasonable, just because they don't want anyone to know. Because like we've seen it in the future, like everybody doubts that Orochi is correct. Like Orochi thinks that they're going to come back, that there's like a prophecy or something. But like everyone else, like, oh no, they're all gone. The Kozukis are gone. Like it doesn't matter. But like if they had seen this note saying like use your specific devil fruit power to transport them to the future, then like, you know, they could have anticipated, and who knows what would have happened.
Okay.
But
for some reason I thought that she was ripping it up because she didn't agree with it and she wasn't going to do it. Or like, because in the flashback that happens right after she rips it up, she's talking to Odin, who's in prison, and she's like, "Oh, you're not really gonna die, though, you know, hee hee."
I think that was just a wink and a nod.
That's just like a nice moment to remember.
That's what I think. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Although the way I'm reading this Gib on the top left there, it says like, "I want to use your power, Toki. If I should die, rip, 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 rip." Like, do you think that what this is implying by the way this is structured is that, like, we, as the readers, don't get to read the full plan of what should happen if he dies? Or do you think that, like, it's what we already know happens, and we just don't need to hear the details, so she's just ripping it up because, you know,
or maybe it's like
important.
The end, like, I want you to use your power, Toki, if I should die. Or, like, I want you to use your power, Toki. If I should die, like, which one is it?
It could be if I should die, then do XYZ that has been ripped up and we don't get to read. I guess I'm not totally sure. It would depend on how this is translated.
I guess it
had,
doesn't
like,
matter.
Another one to compare.
I guess it really just doesn't matter because we know what happens. She sends the 9 scabbards into the future, or at least some of them.
Maybe she sent someone like 20 years and 6 months into the future as like a surprise attack as well, or something. There should be like a little bit more.
Can she do that? Wait, I don't. Has it ever been established that she can jump forwards a little bit in time? I thought it was
we've
only
never
like
seen...
a large, like 20 years or 10 years at a time.
I looked at the wiki. I don't like when she first showed up and she had just jumped and was like attacked by pirates or whatever that was. I don't think it was ever said like, oh man, I'm gonna have to jump way into the future again. I think it was kind of she just said like I will have to jump again. So I don't think we know exactly how the increments work or whatever. But the only instances we have are like the 20-year one for sure, and I think we just don't know what the other increments were like. So maybe it's a year, maybe it's less. Maybe there's more info if I went and fucking read it.
I suppose the 20 years is not a limitation of her power, but is instead a direction from Odin because he knows when the Joy Boy figure is supposed to appear.
We know that for sure. That that's a specific direction. So
okay, so it's probably
not
just
a coincidence
variable.
Or anything. I would assume to some degree. Maybe it has to be years or who knows.
Wait, I figured it out. The reason she says I'd be a laughingstock if anyone saw me crying was her thinking about how she kept up a brave face when he was in prison and going to be executed. She smiled then because it would be bad if she cried because she doesn't want to be weak for him or something.
And for her kids, probably. But yeah, you're right.
But
you're
now
right.
she's crying. She's got little tears in her eyes.
This is, it's got little tears.
And she's like, look forward 20 years in the future. I guess she's just saying, yes, I will do the thing.
She's just saying that. And I think probably next chapter, we're going to see this mother burn this mother down. Literally, she's going to die somehow, probably. And
do you think we're going to see that, or do you think we're going to get to the present immediately?
I predict that we will get a little moment of Momonosuke saying goodbye to his mother as he disappears and appears in the future. And, like, it's inferred either from the pirates being right there or the house burning down that she's going to die there. Because she clearly said she wants to die, like, here and not abandon her husband. Because she could have gone with him, but she chose not to. But I think that we'll cut basically to this crew arriving in the future. And from that moment, we'll just kind of cut to, like, back to what the narrative was doing.
We'll cut to them probably in
back
their
on
little
the beach.
boats. Oh, wait, do they have a boat? They have, like, one boat, and they're all going on the boat.
Yeah, they had one small boat, I think. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to set out, and then on the way, allies will appear in a big climactic, yay, kind of moment.
He's like, Lady Toki, and everyone we thought was dead. You're here. Yes, we came 20 years and a few weeks into the future.
Whoa,
actually,
okay,
it's
here's
more
a
than
brain
that at
blast.
this point. It's 22 years and a bit, I think.
Toki might have had a little time. Maybe, okay, this probably won't happen, but, like, what if Toki had sent ships to the future for them to use? I don't know. Maybe that's silly.
That would be silly because she doesn't know that they need them at
Well,
exactly
maybe,
that moment.
I mean, fucking this boy read the goddamn future with the poneglyphs or whatever the fuck. Maybe it said, by the way, this is Joy Boy from the past. Please send exactly like 20 ships to this location. You're going to need them. Yeah, these coordinates. That'd be really appreciative. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, probably not, but maybe. I don't know. Anyway, we pretty much know everything now, except specifically how they die, how the lady gets burned down, but we pretty much have a good idea how that's going to happen. So I hope we get to learn a little bit more about Toki's knowledge of the past, because she's from the fucking Void Century before she dies. And
if there's
that'd be
any
nice.
if there's any moment in which we get a bit of information as to what she knows and what she potentially passes on to Momonosuke or Hiyori,
right?
It's this next chapter where she dies, probably.
Yep. Very likely.
Because otherwise, any knowledge that she has from that century dies with Odin, or has not been told to anyone, presumably. It could have been one of the Red Scabbards, who knows, because she's around them. But if her as a character, living in that century, that knowledge needs to come out in some way for the present day. Otherwise, it's kind of a weirdly pointless aspect to her character.
If she does not have some information about the Void Century, then her inclusion would be the weirdest fucking red herring possibly in the history of One Piece. And so far, we've learned nothing from her. So far, nothing has come of it at all, except that we've learned a little bit that, like, some of these vassal clans from Wano, like, were off Wano, presumably scattering poneglyphs. But, like, we would have already predicted that, so that wasn't anything particularly mind-blowing.
Do you think in the future...
Oda, please deliver.
Do you think in the future Brook's going to get a power where he can speak to the dead souls? You can have ghosts of characters who are dead come and say hello.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'll tell you why that won't happen, Gib. Because even if canonically Brook, is dead and can speak to ghosts, remember how when Brook died and his soul wandered Earth for like a year, like, souls are supposed to pass on to the afterlife, but he didn't. I think most souls in One Piece canonically pass on to some sort of afterlife, so they are not here to be discussed and to be talked to. And I don't think Oda, or actually Brook's cane sword or whatever is supposed to be empowered by like the frigid ice of hell. So I guess he does actually have a connection to the fucking afterlife. Maybe he could talk to someone through that. I don't know.
It'd just be like a random thing. Like,
no.
Like,
that's not going to happen.
Like, they get to a dead end and be like, what do we do? Everyone who has the information is dead. And Brooks, like, sips tea. I can go to hell if you want.
I'm the man for this job.
I know Satan.
Just pop off to hell. Jesus Christ.
He just becomes a bag of bones and the spirit goes down. It's like, holy shit, Brook, why didn't you tell us? It's like, there's no reason.
Unlikely, but wouldn't that... I mean, I think that, unfortunately, Oda's kind of written off Brook. Like, let me see. Chopper, Frankie, Brook, Nami for the most part, but except for slight navigation things. Probably more as well, but I can't remember. Like, all those characters, I think they're effectively, like, done in One Piece. Like, they've done their stuff. Now we're just going to have them around.
I don't think they've done their stuff so much as the stuff they could do is no longer as impactful as beating the shit out of really strong people.
Look, if Oda wanted
like,
to...
right now, there's so many strong people that they need to kill and beat that the combat is sort of taking over in terms of, like, screen time, at least. Like, Robin...
Which is too bad.
like, if there's... I mean, the one thing, though, is, like, once they have the road poneglyph rubbings or whatever, we saw Roger and his crew take some time to figure out where Raftel was, and that moment, I think, will be, a Nami and Robin and, like, the smart people who don't fight all the time. That will be their moment to do the thinking, I think.
But that's not Brook. That's not Chopper. And I would argue that's not even Frankie. That's a specifically Nami job, and, like, nobody else.
Maybe she looks at a map and be like, oh, there it is.
I
already drew it. I guess I already drew it, she says.
Just to sum up this point, I guess I'd say, like if Oda wanted to, but, like, the point about this I'm trying to make is, like, if Oda wanted to, he could make Brook, like, really narratively important if he wanted to, maybe by using, like, the Yomi Yomi no Mi, and, like, we can communicate with the dead, or, like, in a very specific way, I could do XYZ. Like, he could make Nami, like, the most important character by, like, writing how, like, navigation's important. He could make, like, Zoro's history and, like, his ties to Wano really relevant. He could make Frankie's unknown parentage as, like, North Blue pirates or whatever. Was it North Blue? South Blue? I can't, whatever it was. I think it was South Blue. He could do any of those things. But he won't, because the individual arcs are so bloated that there's no space to do anything with, like, the characters that have already had plenty done with them narratively. And guys, we're getting real close to the end of Wano now. Nothing has been done with Chopper and his Zoan Devil Fruit. I think my hope is, like, basically over for anything coming of that. And I feel that most of the Straw Hats are in that boat. But hey, that's late stage One Piece for you.
That's late stage capitalism for you.
There you go. I'll enjoy it for what it is. It's been a hell of a ride. Whatever. It's not bad. This is all good stuff. It's just, there's some things that have been lost over time.
God, it's always going to be a thing. Like, until we get those juicy moments of Straw Hat crew members' relevance. it's always going to be in the back of our minds. Like, are they never going to come back to them? Is it? Could it
no.
be that it's just the Luffy and the Soup of the Day show?
Pretty much it. Like, look at this chapter. Look, this chapter is relevant to like the overall arc of Wano, which is relevant to like the overall arc of like fighting the world government, which is somewhat related to like Luffy becoming the Pirate King, and like his crew is relevant because they're like helping him do that. But this is like a Luffy Pirate King world sort of thing. None of this relates to like our crew directly, except for Luffy.
I don't even.
Maybe Nico Robin a little bit.
It doesn't really.
I don't know.
Connect to Luffy
this isn't bad. I'm not saying any of that is bad. That's just like where the narrative is focused right now on these like much larger questions of, world government stuff and Void Century and all those things. That's fine. That's fine.
Then Jinbei's gonna join the crew and he's gonna have zero moments. He's gonna have absolutely none.
My dick when Jinbei shows up with a fleet of ships from fucking Fishman Island that he somehow got and brought here because he single-handedly defeated Big Mom, also impregnated her with a Fishman baby, and, conquered the real Grand Line. Also, he swam to Laugh Tale because he's just a fish and can do that, and it wasn't even hard. Oh, fuck yeah.
It'll be like Jinbei and Katakuri formed the
Katakuri pirates.
Katakuri,
the fuck One Piece pirates.
The fuck One Piece pirates. They arrive in Wano to kill Kaido in one fell swoop, and then also to kill Luffy and kill everyone, and then just leave.
That sounds great.
And then they kill One Piece, and then they kill world government, and they bro hug bump.
They're gonna also have I think Gin. Everyone's wondering where Gin is. Gin's gonna join the fuck One Piece pirates.
Hey, Gin, Im, they're the
same guy. Oh, what if he's Im's son all along? He was the most important guy. Damn. Just like Sanji. It was never established that Sanji wasn't a prince. It was never established that Gin wasn't the son of the emperor of the world government. Oh my god, Oda fucking Goda, fucking big brain maneuvers in the story. So good.
Imagine if Don Krieg actually comes back and Gin isn't there. That would be terrible.
I mean, I have no objection to, like, a little camp. Why hasn't fucking any of the East Blue guys gotten, like, any cameos ever? I don't know.
Axan Morgan had a cover arc, didn't he?
He did, although he hasn't shown up since that cover arc, and that was, like, the first cover arc, like, in the series. So, it's like Oda just doesn't like him, or he's got like bigger fish to fry now. I guess that's fine.
There's definitely a bigger fish to fry, but he kept on he kept on with the Michael Jackson guy and the
Django. Django's still around.
Django and Fist Full Body. What was his name?
Full Body. Full Body.
Like those guys became like Marines.
Those guys evolved
and like had their own arc, sort of parallel to Kobe and Helmeppo.
Indeed. That's all good stuff. I like all that. So you know what? Okay, some people exist. Okay, obviously some characters, like Kobe, exist from way back then. I'm just saying, I would like to see, by the end of One Piece, maybe in the final war, what, like, Don Krieg, Captain fucking Kuro, and, maybe even Arlong.
We'll get Don Krieg, Jinbei, and Katakuri, the fuck One Piece pirates. Every character that doesn't exist is on the crew.
That sounds great. All right, well, I guess we're done for now. Obviously, a lot of stuff happening here. There will be more to come. Apparently, the next chapter is on March 1st, and unless I hear somebody else delivering it, fucking Viz is being the fastest boys, so that's where I'm going to be looking. Yeah. So apparently March 1st.
Rest in peace, Pod D Scans.
Pod D Scans, they did good work. I think it's too much work for them.
There were complications. There were complications with, like, getting access to the Raws, and if they couldn't get it first, then what was the point? And it was like...
It's a grueling, thankless job.
It is.
And, also unpaid, obviously. So, who can blame them? They're still heroes in my eyes. Anyone who works to provide this stuff to the world is a hero.
Yeah. They're still doing scanlations, but just of other more obscure manga that need scanlation. But it does annoy me a little bit that, like, for some of these non-Viz chapters that I was looking at, the translations on them were fucking terrible, and they weren't PodD scans. They were just some random shit, and it was such bad English, and, like, I couldn't understand a few speech bubbles. Like, what is happening? This sucks. If people know a place to get good, like, I mean, Viz is very fast, so at this point it doesn't really matter. But sometimes, I mean, Dogtooth or whatever.
Dogstorm, and Zolo.
Like,
we're gonna see Zolo if we keep reading these fucking scans, dude. And I'm terrified. I don't want to live in that world.
I don't want to live in a world where Zolo is acceptable.
I know, it's insanity.
I mean, you know, maybe I'll get used to it, but I will never say it of my own volition. I will just get used to reading it. But, like, if there is the new hot place where people are making good One Piece scans, please tell me where.
Yeah, let us know. Comment, please. Well, that's it.
So,
I guess
that's it.
Let us
go
know.
to the Patreon, patreon.com/thepodcastpirates.
That's us.
The Twitter at @poddcastahoy, and join the Discord. If you're a patron, you get a funny color next to your name that indicates the hierarchy, and then you get to lord it over other people by being in secret chats that no one else can see except you.
You're in the crew. You are in
the crew.
You paid your way in. That's the only way I respect.
All right.
And that's it, everybody. We will see you on March. Yeah, a little after March 1st. Give us a day or two. Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up. We're working on it. Have a good night. Have a good day. And take it easy and take it sleazy. Bye. Bye.
Bye.